to see the kind of industries that are opening up.
This is Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. Local Biz Now.
You have to determine what is working, what isn't working.
Joe Vagnone is a respected business broker, helping individuals buy and sell businesses. Joe has successfully owned and operated many companies in a variety of industries. This is Local Biz Now. Because your business matters.
Yeah. You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina, coming to you from Burner Cigar Studio, home of the finest premium cigars and cigar smokers in the world. Great people, premium cigars. Life is good at Burner Cigars. Go on by their Birkdale and also their newest location in Denver on Highway 16. We hope to inspire, inform, and entertain you, because that's what we do every Monday afternoon here on WSIC 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, 1400 AM. I am Joe Vagnone. This is Local Biz Now, and we are live on the book, live on the tubes, live on the X, live on any kind of podcast or whatever you get. So join in. Julie is on Facebook, so if you want to communicate, ask a question, we'll try and get that on as well. This is Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and it doesn't happen without the co-host every month, and this month is my #1. Now, I don't mean #1 for any other reason other than she is my #1, Cherie DeMayo. She is AKA #1 because she is the first person Julie and I go to whenever we've got a business question. Name of her company, she's the founder of Biz Growth, Inc. She is the maestro COO on call. She can create high-performance strategies for exponential growth in business value, preference, and worth. Virtual and in person. Cherie DeMayo, this is Local Biz Now, where your business matters, and I am pleased and happy to have you for the entire month. Thank you for being here.
It has been awesome. I always love coming back.
So you and I were talking before the show. There's a distinction between you, because you wanted to slap me. Now, we've known each other for years, so it wouldn't be the first time that you popped me on the back of the head, right?
Absolutely.
But you wanted to pop me on the back of the head because I referred to you as a coach.
Right.
And you say,
no,
don't do that.
No.
So describe for me the difference between Biz Growth, Inc., Cherie DeMayo, and say what I would call a small business coach.
Okay, so what we are and what I am, first and foremost, is a strategist. So what we are looking at is the overall enterprise strategy. A lot of times coaches are specific to executive coaching, business owner coaching, things like that. Now, mind you, I still meet with the business owners at the various high level, but I'm holding them accountable to the strategy. I'm holding them accountable to what their goals and what their vision and what their mission is, and I'm helping them in many cases implement, execute, and move the chess pieces, so to speak.
So when I think of a business coach, right, one of the things that has disappointed me, because of this show and the business that I'm in, I see a whole lot of people that call themselves business coaches, right?
Right.
And some of them, they should hold their head up high and deserve that.
Exactly. There's some great ones out there.
That's right. And there's some that I question, right? And sometimes I don't know it till I make the referral, right?
Ooh, that makes you a little nervous. Yeah.
But for you, it's always when it's over with, I know the client has additional sales. They are doing financially better, and they know why.
Right.
With you.
Right.
Why is that? How come some can and can't do that?
Well, I think the real differentiator there is an action plan. Truly building, there's a strategy and then there's an action plan to support executing that strategy. And there is a marketing component, there's an operational component, and there's a growth component. And we look at all three of those factors because you need all of them to be working in unison in a way that is strategically, financially doable, right? And so what's really important in working with our clients is that we look at the overall strategic needs And then, okay, here are the most immediate things that need to change or fix. I mean, we did that with you. You need to fix some things, right? And so
even though I didn't want to fix it.
yeah, even though you didn't want. That's right. But then holding accountability. The reason our business owners know that action has worked is because they're being held accountable to it as much as we are being held accountable for what we brought in to do. Everybody is involved in the process and everything is measurable. We believe everything is measurable, so that's how you know if it's working or not working.
So you got the title from Julie and I, which, by the way, is a superior honorary title, you understand?
I'm very honored. I am.
You can imagine how many people on that list, and you're number one. You've got that title because I've learned over the years, and I'm embarrassed to say we've known each other a while.
Yep, 3 decades. Yep, we have.
So where'd that time go? I don't know.
We've known each other a whole generation. Think about that.
I used to be that young business guy in the room when you first met me. That's you don't hear the word young anymore with Joe anymore. Anyway.
Oh, I'm still young.
So yes, ma'am, you are. I said me. I didn't say you. But what I've learned about you after all of the books that you've read and the countless times you and I have talked, when you give an advice, it's not your opinion. This is detailed research and experience that you're handing them. This is much different than, let me tell you what I think. Because that's what Joe would do, right? Joe will say, this is what I think. Now, I got a 50-50 chance of being right here, right? But when you say something, it's because you have research to back up the statement.
Yeah, we are very research geeky in our company. We want to, and I like to say, with research, you can prove anything you want. Just look at politics, right?
Right.
However, we want to validate what works, and we're willing to be put to the test and be wrong about some of our assumptions in order to validate what works.
Well, I mean, in business, knowing that you're wrong is good because now you know what not to do.
Because a lot of times something even better results. Absolutely.
Right. And so I want people to hear that when they see me embracing my number one, right? You know what I mean? It is not just because I think she's a wonderful woman. It's because you absolutely do the research and you are providing your clients with real information that is very helpful to make them much more successful in most cases than they ever thought about.
Well, and the last thing I'll say to that is it's not just research based on best practices across the country, the world. It's also research deep diving and kind of dissecting and putting the company back together and helping the business owner see things that they aren't seeing so they can think in a way they haven't thought before.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, you're going to get in it. The co-host has to bring in an article from the Google. Yeah, you guessed it. Cherie is the Google. So she wrote this 5-page article. We're going to try and get it all in on the next half of the show. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. We have over 948 interviews on our YouTube channel. Go to JoeVagnoneBusinessBroker.com, JoeVagnoneBusinessBroker.com, and we will see you in a minute. We'll be right back.
I've had to put up with a lot. No, I'm just kidding.
Say what?
Put up with a lot to be number one. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
That's awesome.
Well, I'll tell you. Oh, just so you know, we are staying live on the social media channels right now, even though we are on break in the live radio.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
So if you want to make fun of Joe, now's a great time.
It is a great time. But I actually appreciate you clarifying that because that's something that I've really been very... we bring coaches in to our clients who might need, a client out of California, Texas, second generation. We brought in an excellent coaching group to coach second generation. Right. Because we saw there was a need there and we could connect that resource. So I have my favorite coaches for that exact reason because they know how to work with somebody to make them strategically excellent.
And that's what I try. I try to pick people to meet clients that I think are a good fit. So years ago, and this is after I'd already known Cherie for 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. I asked her to help my brokerage firm. I was looking for, because Cherie is a master at marketing. You understand? She can do that in her sleep. That's like a second-hand thing for her to do, right? It's a pastime for her. She's a marketing genius. So I wanted this tagline for Joe Vagnone, the finest business broker in all the world, right? And so I'm thinking I'm going to call her, and she's going to spend a couple weeks thinking about it and come up with this great tagline. She won't do it till she interviews every single buyer and seller I had dealt with up until that time. And I said, what are you talking about? No, I'm not going to. And that's not why I want to bring you on board. No, I'm not going to let you do it. And so.
And I was going to walk if I didn't.
She just absolutely demanded it, right?
Yep.
And so when it was
a non-negotiable.
over,
We talked about that.
she popped me on the back of the head a few times. When it was over with, it was clear. How much? 1 minute?
1 minute, yeah. Cool.
It was clear that my clients wanted to hear from me more than I wanted to tell them that I hadn't found a buyer for their business yet. He put it clear to me, if I got a buyer, I'm going to call you, right?
Yeah.
And Cherie, after this research, clearly defined this is a major problem.
Yeah,
and
operational
they think
process.
differently of you if you don't let them know. And that 30, you would think that would be easy to understand, but it was like can't see the forest for the trees.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And it made a big difference.
Even to this day, she made me do it, but 20. Yeah. You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. This is WSIC 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, 1400 AM. I am Joe Vagnone. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. My co-host for the entire month is Cherie DeMayo. She is the founder of Biz Growth, Inc., and she can help you create high-performance strategies for exponential growth. Cherie, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
So we've got a guest. Normally, we don't allow the guests to speak. We hide them. We keep them in the corner. But this one got some wherewithal, so I thought we'd bring him into
I chose this article because I knew he'd have a thing for you two to say, maybe.
And he actually read it, you understand.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Right. So let's bring him in.
Yeah, please introduce him. Yeah.
Turn on the mic. William Bissett, am I saying that correctly?
It's Bissett.
Bissett, president and founder of Portus Wealth Advisors. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about your Wealth Advisors company, and then we'll kind of move on from there.
Yeah, so we have been around the wealth management industry since 2005. In 2019, started my own business. In 2022, really noticed that most of my business was, or a growing portion of my business was around small business owners. And so over the course of the last 3 years, we've really focused in on just primarily marketing to and serving and building our business model around business owners, generally kind of in that $1 to $5 million of net profit, right? They've got enough complexity and issues and things like that. They're usually older, they're more mature, they've built fantastic businesses. They seek out people like Cherie for expert advice, and so they're willing to accept it and take that and move forward. And so that's where we've been for the last 3 or 4 years.
So let me tell you this, Julie, which you probably don't know, but Julie's been with me going on 10 years now. Let me just put you this way. Everybody needs a Julie.
They do, especially your Julie.
That's right. That's right. And so Julie does her best to try and put the co-host and the guest together. And now I know why she put you two together.
Yeah.
I'm sure you two could.
And she probably
have
didn't
a lot.
even know we knew each other before. Isn't that wild?
That's right.
But yeah, I was excited when I saw that William was here.
So, William, when people first contact you because they think they've got enough and now they just want to manage it, or they contact you because they want to grow it to a point before they do hit their retirement age?
Yeah, so a lot of our business owners will come to us without assets. And so we actually work with them on a retainer basis, and their most valuable assets are their business. It's the commercial real estate that they own. It's the rental properties that they own. So they've created wealth. They've just created out of out of the way of Wall Street.
Because, in the olden days, you didn't keep any cash in the bank. You put it to work for yourself. That is not the way they think about wealth now, but it is how we were taught growing up.
Yeah. So anyways, they end up with a lot of complexities. Somewhere along the line, somebody tells them that they've got complexity that they should figure out how to manage. And then we come in the door and help them start to understand what the complexity is, and how they should think about it, strategize it, pass it along, do all of those other fun things with.
Well, and I love the fact that you don't look just at an investment portfolio. You're looking at real property. You're looking at, their business as an asset. You're looking at it's actually a much more diverse portfolio, which is actually pretty powerful. Yeah.
And then they've got to bring in, oftentimes they've got to also bring in folks like you if you're not already here, because that asset, that business is such a phenomenal growth engine for them, right? I always say it's the best investment they'll ever have.
Yeah.
And if they don't have the right people surrounding them to get it to where it needs to be for them, then, they're coming up short.
And if they don't have the investment mindset, which is what this article is all about too, because that's what I see as a big issue, big issue for building value.
So, William, let's do that. Let's take a look at the article, and then we'll dig back into your business when we get to the next break, okay?
Okay.
So, Cherie, take us away, darling. What do you want to talk about this 17,000-page document that you probably wrote up yesterday afternoon?
It is, the title is An Investment Mindset Key to Scalable, Agile Growth. And I always focus on 5 key points. And the 5 key points, I'll just review them real quick, and then we can dive into some or all, depending on our time. But a business owner must have a growth mindset. They must understand there's actually 4 resources they need to be leveraging at all time, not just one, which is money. They must have ROI measures. I talked about this earlier. Everything is measurable. There's some people that say certain things aren't measurable. Well, that's just poppycock. No, it's not. Everything is measurable. Understanding the difference between a budget and a spending plan, because from a strategic standpoint, you have to have both. And always being focused on capacity and value building in your company by where you're spending your money. So the first and foremost is a growth mindset.
So just so you know, William, I tell her to bring me a bullet point article. She does bullet points with numbers after the bullet points, you understand? So let's try and get through this, but let me ask the question first.
You're welcome.
I want to go with a growth mindset. What is that?
A growth
Walk me through
mindset.
that.
What I see a lot.
Is it just ambition?
No, growth mindset is literally an investment mindset. It literally is believing in the possibilities and the opportunities, and not letting setbacks, not letting economic conditions. A lot of times startup business owners shoot themselves in the foot because they're starting their business with a survival mindset. Oh, if I can just make it 1 year, if I can just make it 2 years, if I can just make it 3 or 5. And we all know the data is that, what is it, 60% of businesses fail?
70.
70% of businesses don't make it to 10 years.
Yeah.
And so that is a survival mindset that's causing this. It really is. And so a growth mindset, so here's an example. A survival mindset says we can't afford this at this time when we make more profits, okay? A growth mindset says our business is a good investment, our people are a good investment, we're going to find a way or make a way.
And because I know you, if I have somebody help me with this strategy, those decisions are easier to make.
Oh, absolutely.
In other words, I'm making the choices of a growth mindset because the strategy tells me it's the best way forward.
Absolutely.
William's over there nodding at this. You understand that?
Well, and growth mindset is also proactively thinking. So, I'd like to talk about the 4 resources, because one of the advantages we've always had all these years is when our firm was brought in to talk about developing a full strategy for the company, all of our competitors were saying, well, what's your budget for this? And we never asked that. We would ask, okay, how are you leveraging your people? How are you leveraging your technology? How are you leveraging your time? And they would go, well, why are you asking me these 3 things? Well, if you're not leveraging those 3 things effectively, you're probably blowing money in ways you don't even realize you're blowing money. And you probably don't have a real clear understanding of what your budget should be and also what a spending plan should be. When we're talking about budgeting, we're not just talking about dollars. We're talking about how you leverage people, how you leverage time, and how you might save time of those people.
Whoa. Don't get ahead of me.
I'm not.
Slow down. You jump to the budget and spending. You want to jump to number 4 before you talk about measuring? Because
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so because this one does interest me, because I want to understand the difference between a budget and a spending plan.
Okay, so a budget oftentimes is looking at historically what you've spent and what things cost. What a spending plan does is looks at what your strategy is. Okay, so I'll give you an example. The best way is an example. Working with an engineering firm, they were having double-digit growth year over year. They wanted 25% growth, and they had a budget for what their current staff, capacity was, everything else. And I said, okay, well, we need to back into this 25%. What happens if you grow 10%? What happens, this is an engineering firm that had lab soil testing things. What lab equipment do you have to buy? What people do you have to hire? What administrative support do you have to hire? What offices might you have to open up? What satellite offices might you have to open up? All of these things. And so all of a sudden then through,
Let me ask a question.
we developed a spending plan.
When you asked the CEO that question, did he go like this?
Well, no, actually.
Because you tired me out already, Sharia. We ain't even got started.
What was really exciting about that when I asked that question is they were so reactive. They were not staying ahead of their growth. So what was happening, because they were double-digit growing already.
Right. No, I'm just keeping up with that.
Yeah, and so they were reactive and making bad hires. They were reactive and paying more for equipment because they needed it right away. So by having a spending plan based on projected growth, they could stay one step ahead of that, made all the difference in the world, made them much more profitable too.
And again, made it easier to make choices and decisions.
Absolutely.
William,
Yeah.
I see you nod your head. Did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, and I mean, you see it. So, I mean, you go back to the spending plan and then reviewing all of the components to it, right? I mean, unfortunately for business owners, what they traditionally do is they just make the next decision and the next decision and the next decision, rather than being able to step back and say, is this the best way to do it?
Yes.
And then if they step back and say, this is the best way to do it, well, then most likely you end up with some things that get thrown to the wayside because they're doing it inefficiently because they did it the way they needed to back then.
Exactly. This is why an investment mindset creates scalability, but also agility. Okay, because if you have a spending plan and then let's say an opportunity comes out of nowhere. You're going to know whether it's a good opportunity to seize or not and to invest in if it requires an investment.
So let's take a break because we've got about a minute. But when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about measuring. That's the one thing most small business people don't want to spend the time and energy and money on.
Right.
And it's so important because
Yes, it
if
is.
we don't know if it's working or not, we don't know whether the money being spent is good or bad.
Absolutely.
So let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk about that.
Sure thing.
You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone. I am here with William. Okay, William, let me try it. Bissett.
Awesome.
You got it.
Did I do that?
You got it. You did
Sure,
good.
are you surprised I got that right?
I am surprised. You did good.
Portus Wealth Advisors, and I'm here with Sheree DeMeo, Biz Growth Inc. We'll see you guys in 1 minute.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. Stay with this for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because every 15 minutes when we take a live break, so we'll just switch the next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Do we want to stay like this, you said?
Let's stay like this for this break, and then we'll switch.
And
to
then
the
we'll
next
switch
break.
for the last 15 so he can have the focus. Yeah. Does that sound cool?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love the article, the concept. I mean,
Thank you.
We can chip in if you want. I can sit back and just listen and smile and nod my head, which I can
wanted
do.
you to chip in. I chose this because I knew you were coming, so I'm serious. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a great article.
Thank you.
And it's, I mean, obviously from experience, right? I mean, how many, it is so true. They stack decisions because the first decision they made was the right decision.
Right.
And then it's like, well, I just keep doing that.
Right.
Because that one was right. And then, but stacking them was wrong.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So,
I resemble that.
we all do it, right? Because it's easy.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, you know, I mean, you're talking to it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm an old school guy now, right? You know, somewhere along the line, Sheree, I went from the young business guy in the room to the old school guy. I don't know when that happened, but many choices and decisions that I made were purely because I didn't have enough money to do anything else. I mean, that was my option, right?
Yeah.
Don't do it, or I get to do this. And I would just, and I tell people those decisions as your business starts to mature, because you're lucky enough to make enough good decisions in those bad times, right?
Yeah.
You know, that your business has grown to a certain point. What you can't do is keep making those same decisions once the business gets to a certain size.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where somebody like Sheree really
One of the
comes
big
in.
things I'm always looking at is how that leader, that business owner is spending their time and where they should not be spending their time. Especially as a fractional COO, I'm going to be looking at the people, the time, and the technology in a way that frees up that business owner to be doing what their most valuable work is. And that makes right there a huge difference.
And what we're going to talk about is the measurement. I guarantee you, they
Yeah.
don't know that things aren't working.
Right.
They could be spending, they could have whole departments that aren't worth the money that they're spending on, and they would not know it.
Well, and, measure, again, everything can be measured. Some things may take longer to track than others, but yeah, I can't wait to talk more about that because, we believe everything is measurable. You just have to determine what that metric is.
So Julie's got your website up.
Okay, cool.
Julie said old school for you happened about a year ago.
At least she can pinpoint it. Right? That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's great to have the AC on this go round.
Excuse me?
It's great to have the AC on compared to last week.
So is this week number 2 for you?
This is 3.
This is
week
3?
number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I'm running a board meeting next Monday, so I won't be able to do the last Monday. Bummer, but I'm chair of a board and I'm running a retreat, so next Monday.
So you'll be busy still.
Yeah.
So that's French, Bissett.
Ooh, it's a long-standing argument in my family.
Oh, is
New
it?
Orleans.
It's either Scottish or French.
No way
Yeah.
you tell your
Bissett
daddy.
sounds
No way
French
he's
to me.
making me say Bissett
Yeah.
and it be Scottish.
Well, so there's the Bissett is the French side. Bissett would be the Scottish side. And
Oh, okay.
I claim Bissett as the Scotch.
You got the Scottish look in you. I don't mind telling you.
Yeah. And my wife claims the Bissett. She wants more of the flair of the French side to it,
love
right?
it.
Yeah. So
What are your
anyway.
children showing you?
The kids are. Obviously they want me to be right and for it to be the French, right? Or no, to be the Scotch.
The Scotch.
Yeah.
Well, you can't go wrong
You're
with
going
either
to
one.
have to go do that thing on the internet
I know,
and figure
I know.
that
I'm over
out with that. Settle this once and for all.
Yeah. Let the Chinese know what I really am, right? Yeah. They
That's
own our
awesome.
data in that. Yeah.
No, that's great.
15 seconds.
When I saw you had the SEPA certification too. That's a
went
big
through
deal.
that,
Yeah.
5, 3, 2, 1.
You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. I am Joe Vagnone. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. We have been doing this show going on 12 years strong. We have over 948 interviews. You can see those on our over 748 videos of our YouTube channel. Go to Joe Vagnone Business Broker on YouTube. Again, Joe Vagnone Business Broker. Please subscribe. I got this massive goal. I want to get to 200 subscribers. I have learned that 200 subscribers on YouTube puts me at 73 percentile. Did you know that?
No, I did not know
That's
that.
right. I want to be the top end of the percentile, you understand?
Yeah.
So I know you're laughing, William, but Cherie can remember when I had one.
I remember when you had one. And
I understand 200 is not Kardashian numbers.
Yeah.
I understand that, William, but for me, I'm doing the best I can to get there, okay?
I love it.
Okay.
I did too.
So please, if one more person, every time I say that, you understand, Tree, I get one more person to
Yes, you do. You
That's
do.
right.
It's
That's
working.
right. It's working. We're getting there, William. We're getting there.
I think I've got 13, so you're well ahead of me. So
Okay, so go to JoeVagnonBusinessBroker.com and subscribe. We would appreciate it. I'm here with my co-host for the entire month and number one.
Yes.
That is Cherie DeMayo. She is the founder of Biz Growth Inc. and she creates high-performance strategies for exponential growth in business value, preference, and worth. I'm also here with William Bissett. He is the president and founder of Portus Wealth Advisors. William, thank you for being here, buddy. I appreciate it.
yeah, no, absolutely.
So one more time, William, tell everybody what Portus Wealth Advisors is all about.
I mean, traditional wealth management, right? And we focus and care about, cash flow, tax planning, retirement planning, insurance, estate, and all those things that anybody who has started to or accumulated wealth over their time has to deal with. But then we also take that the next step with a lot of our business owner clients, where we focus a significant amount of time and resources on what they own inside their business. And
that does make you a bit unique, you understand.
I agree.
Most wealth advisors do not focus that much on the business itself.
Well, and what I would like to have William comment on is the whole aspect of, he's CEPA certified, which is specifically related to exit planning and all that. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, it's the Certified Exit Planning Advisor, and went through it, I think, 2 years ago. And again, so many of these business owners, their largest asset is the business that they own. And when they sell their business, if they sell it to somebody, whether it's a private equity or some MBA person or somebody else, that person's going to come in and they're really going to spend time trying to make that business more valuable from day one.
That's what it should happen. That's exactly what should happen.
And what we would like to focus on with our business owner clients is, hey, let's spend 2 to 3 years prior to you selling the business.
Yes.
And getting the business to be worth more, so you create that value for yourself. So 2 things happen. 1, you get more cash flow, right? Which is nice. Cash flow is good. And then 2, you sell the business for more than what you would have otherwise, which also happens to be good because that ends up being cash flow too. So,
and what I don't think people understand when they're talking to somebody like you and how you're helping them. Let me give you an example. If we've got a business that's doing $7 million, that multiple might be 3.5 or 4. Mm-hmm. If you can get them up to 10 million, which is less than 15%, 20% increase in what they're currently doing, all of a sudden that multiples is 5.5 to 6. So they can make more money on their current business by increasing their business substantially. So this is real money that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
No, it's phenomenal. So, and then you do it 2 ways, right? You do it through growth, which is what we're talking about here today. And then the other one is understanding, how you're spending your resources, right?
Exactly.
Kind of that budget spending plan, right?
Right, exactly, exactly. Making what I like to call momentum building decisions.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, you pass off a growing, thriving business, you're going to have a more excited buyer. A more excited buyer is going to give you more money.
Absolutely.
So,
and it gets at one of the reasons that we believe everything is measurable is that when you can show all of those measurables to a potential buyer and then they have all this fabulous data that they can build off of, that makes it even more attractive because they're not having to reinvent the wheel or figure it out. They're literally looking, okay, what's the next level we can do to make this thrive beyond where it is now?
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
We're not here to fix something. We're here to propel something.
And William, it's so funny. I just sold a $12.5 million business, and the seller was so happy. And he looks at that nice check, right?
Yeah.
And the next thing that happens, he goes, sits down with the financial planner. The financial planner says, well, we could have done this, and we could have done this, and we could have done this, but you didn't. So here's the tax that you owe.
Yeah.
Right? So they need,
that's a really important
point. It's the story of my life. They don't call an attorney until 10 days for the closing. They don't call an accountant till after they purchase the business, right?
And then the financial advisor.
These are all referrals that they make, but they make too late. So I want them to hear, if they'll call you early enough, they can plan for this stuff, and it will be so substantially helpful to them.
Yeah, no, it's the reason we created, or reason we've got the retainer model in place is we've got a business owner that we started working with a couple of years ago. It's probably a $35 to $40 million net worth client. Prior to us working with him, he didn't have a Roth IRA, an IRA, a 401k, a brokerage account, anything, but 9 different.
Because that stuff for us guys is just a pain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But 9 commercial properties and 2 businesses, right? So it's not that he didn't have complexity,
right?
And so for us to work with him on a retainer model and say we don't have to manage assets, we're just going to advise you on the complexity that you've created. Oh, by the way, part of that is when you sell the businesses, this is what you need to be thinking about, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're out ahead of it. Off of the retainer model, where if it wasn't for the retainer model, we wouldn't have been able to kind of cross a lot of those lines with that client and so many of other clients, right?
And I say this all the time: you need the information so you can make a good decision. They don't. They have it after they sold. It doesn't really help them.
No, it doesn't. And going back to the whole retainer model, because I use that as a COO on call. Again, that's making an investment in expertise that is going to help that company get to the next level, right? But there still must be that return on investment. So going back to what we were talking earlier, our expertise is on the line every single day to make sure that we are moving the needle for that business owner.
Now you got me. So let's talk about measurement and how that works, because that is so important. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, one of the things that we have identified, we actually have a worksheet that we work with on our clients whenever they're looking. Yes,
Cherie got a worksheet.
I do on everything.
To hear that.
And
William, she's got about 150 that she's created. So these aren't off the shelf. They're custom. I promise you.
Absolutely. Well, and it's just to get the business owner out of that expense mindset. And so we developed this. There's quantifiable measurements, and then there's what we call, basically enhancement measurements. Quantifiable are a lot easier to measure. They're very numbers driven, okay? And so those are what most businesses will be able, what they believe they can measure. So I want to talk a little bit more about the enhancers. So, if you make this investment, will your business be more able to have more income generating time or income producing time? And this gets at the business owner a lot of times, because the business owner is mired in supporting roles, in sustaining roles that really should be outsourced or hired in so that they can do the more value enhancing stuff. And then we have the aspects of, does it improve your knowledge and expertise? Does it improve your reputation? Does it improve your image? And those are all things that you can measure.
And, one of the things I've been telling people, small business people for years, your database has real value when I get ready to sell it.
Oh, yeah.
And putting that together is a real cost, right? So they don't see the cost in creating a good CRM system, but the buyer does.
Right. Absolutely.
Let's take a break and we'll come back.
Okay.
William, you still with us, or are you going to run out the back door?
I'm still here.
You are listening to Local Biz Now, where your business matters. We'll be right back.
And then you have the ones that chase growth too much with that, the world, there is no cloud in the sky. So how do you handle the different...
We're switching.
All right, let's flip it around.
The positive
Even though
story.
he's fighting me on it, we're switching. We're making him switch.
How do you overcome the business owner? I guess it's the same thing. That business owner needs a spending plan too,
Right.
So that they don't get so excited that they
both do.
overspend.
Well,
William, Julie's got your website on the Facebook, and Julie called Cherie Number one is the process queen.
That's true. Well, we can, and we can touch upon the last point, the capacity building and the value building with William in the hot seat here, because that's perfect for what he does.
Yep.
Yep.
You're lucky you were here last week. There's no AC.
None?
It was warm. It was
Oh, it was
It was
miserable.
warm.
It was warm.
You will see a pissed off Italian. It was yesterday. I mean, last week.
It's fair.
20 seconds. Okay. Oh, we have 1 minute. Okay, cool.
That's
So
a
answer your
lifetime.
question, with the more negative survival mindset, I literally become a avenue of opportunity for them. So when we work on the strategy, they're just not seeing what they're not seeing.
Yeah.
And so what really happens is when we do the research and then we start to see, like, they might think they've been commoditized and they have nothing that differentiates them. And then we figure out either what is different about them or what could differentiate them. And then all of a sudden they get excited and they get more optimistic again.
Yeah, okay, super. Yeah. That makes sense.
So it's very exciting. I actually like those challenges.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
Cherie loves to piss off a business owner. She enjoys it.
As long as they listen.
One.
Oh, they're going to listen. Yeah. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. We are live on the book, on the tube, on the X, on the podcast. We're anywhere you want to see video, we are live. And Julie is monitoring Facebook, WSIC Facebook. If you want to go there and see us and also ask any questions, we'll try and keep up. I am here with my co-host for the entire month, Cherie DeMeo. We call her number one. She is Biz Growth Inc. maestro, creating high-performance strategies for exponential growth in business, value, preference, and worth. Cherie DeMeo, thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here.
We also have William Bissett here. He is the president and founder of Portus Wealth Advisor. William, thank you, my friend, for being here. We appreciate you being a good sport because keeping up with Cherie is not easy to do, you understand?
I'm aware, yes.
So before the break, we were talking a little bit about measurement, Cherie, and it's probably one of the most difficult things for the conversation for me to have with small business people. Sure. We were talking about it. In my case, I tell people, listen, this CRM system, which used to be a big deal, now it's like a necessity, right?
Oh, it absolutely
is. You just have to have it now.
And the whole ability to data mine and pull that. I mean, that's one of the biggest problems I see with most business owners is they're not capturing data that they should be capturing.
They don't know whether it's important or not.
Oh, and boy, is it ever.
Not only is it important, I literally sell businesses based on how many people they have in their database, right?
Well,
so every person could be $3 to $10, you know?
Well, but the other thing, too, is having data proving that you have something nobody else has. You know, that's why we have a whole intellectual property development division, because we're trying to help. That preference helps build worth, you know, and that gets at intangible assets. That gets at the goodwill. That gets at adding a number to the top of the offer that you wouldn't get otherwise. Those things are extremely important, but you got to be able to measure it and prove it.
William, do you get into valuing small businesses for clients? How much do you roll up your sleeves and dig into that?
Not directly valuing them ourselves, but we'll certainly, one of the first things we encourage them to do is get a business valuation so that they know where they currently are and is that what they need from it. But, you know, to your measurable component, right? Like it's so so important on all aspects of their data, because once they get into the conversation, Joe, down the line with you, where they're talking about selling the business and somebody's sitting across the table and they're asking those questions, if they don't know the answers to some of those questions, then it's kind of a red flag that goes up, or
they may never know they just discounted the value of their business by that.
Exactly.
Right.
Because the person's going to say, well, this business runs only because the owner's there, right?
Right.
It's one of the natural.
And that's such a huge issue, right? One of the reasons we got so passionate, and clearly I think why you got so passionate about helping the business owner build something of value and worth, is because they thought they were building something and they really weren't.
Yeah.
They were the business, and without them, the business would not fly. And they really should be building something, as you said, that is so, like what we like to say, so valuable, customers can't imagine, employees can't imagine anywhere else, the industry and, marketplace can't imagine anywhere else. And so as a result, when somebody buys that business, they can't wait to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
They're so excited. They're not helping the business out. They're investing in a great opportunity.
So what Theresa is so true, and I don't know if you get it when they sit down with you or not, but they think they've created a business. What they really created was a job.
Right.
Do you get that? I mean, do they?
What they've really created is their own paycheck. There's a big difference. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I was sitting down talking with our marketing person last week about two different stories, right? We're painting the positive story and the negative story. And the business owner that created the job basically got liquidation value for what they created, which it was fine, because that business created a ton of wealth for her over the years, and she didn't need, I've always told her she didn't need to sell it for more than a penny, because she created enough net worth outside of it. Now, if she created a business, she could have sold it for more. She didn't, versus the business owner that actually foundationally understands to create that business. Now they have a sellable asset.
Well, and William, what else they need to understand, in my mind's eye, I'm thinking about a very successful woman that's got 9 local women's boutiques in the area, right? She's her only buyer. And I explained to her, if you will teach and train somebody how to do this, not only will you have, so you got to pay somebody $150,000, but what you will have is a business that will continue to operate far longer than when your interest of continuing to operate it. And so they can continue the income, and they also, if they want to, they can sell the business and create that same value. It's not an either or, but that conversation a lot of times starts with somebody like you.
Yeah.
Because they don't even know to come to Cherie or I.
Yeah. Well, I mean, guys, I tell people, business owners all the time, right? They're usually really good at one thing out of their business, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of times it's sales or marketing or something like that. It's like, go find a 10-year-old or 10-year younger version of yourself, and then go find a 20-year younger version of yourself too, right? So that you've got a pipeline of people coming through.
Yeah, that whole succession planning is huge.
Train.
And cross-train.
Really very valuable.
Yes, it is.
That multiple will be substantially higher if they'll do that.
Because then they're not needed, right? If you're not needed, it just makes you giving them a business rather than giving them a project.
And they can keep the business longer if they want to, because they don't. When they get up in the morning, they don't have to do it if they don't want to do that.
Well, one of the fifth point in that investment mindset is always looking at how you're investing your money from a capacity building standpoint, which hopefully helps the business owner get out of being in the business and then being able to work on the business. And so then they can be more focused on value enhancing aspects of the business, like succession planning, like corporate culture, like intellectual property and proprietary holdings, or capital assets, or anything like that that's going to build the value in the company.
And William, I'm one of those guys that spent years building up my business, right? And if I'd have gotten to Cherie soon enough, right? You know what I mean? I wouldn't have sold the business. I would have gone to the next level. This stuff can be fun.
Yes, it can.
It can be energizing and fun to manage and talk about the strategy as somebody else is actually doing the day-to-day work. But that requires them to reach out to you, have this conversation with you, right? And then you sort of tap the people that they may need to be helpful. And then planning this out really can be positive. It doesn't have to be, pulling your hair out, which is the first instinct of us small business people, right? To do that, right?
No, exactly right. I mean, you get, I think sometimes you end up with people, business owners, anybody really, that is just so scared of walking into a room and not knowing what's going to be said. And so they steer clear of it because they don't want to be seen as not intelligent or not knowing what's going on or something like that. And I think, hiring Cherie or hiring us or, bringing the biz broker, right? Those people are there to help, right? They're there to educate. They're there to help get you to the next level. It doesn't have to be this fear factor that so many people feel like is going to be like, oh gosh, I'm exposed for not being good.
It won't be painful. The conversation won't be painful.
But you're great. Like most of these people have built great businesses, right?
Yes.
It's not, you are awesome. You're just missing this. It doesn't mean you're not great. What you've done is phenomenal. Let's just
and
take it
nobody
to the
has
next
all
level.
the answers. Nobody. And so you need to surround yourself. What did Henry Ford say? You have to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you so that you can take it to that next level. Yeah.
So what's the buyer profile that you're looking for? What's the client profile look like that's a good fit for you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because of the nature of what we've dealt with, most of our business owners that we're working with are in their 50s and 60s. They built good, solid businesses over the course of the last 20 or 30 years. They're men and women. They are maybe a little bit more blue collar on that side. They're electricians. They're landscape, industrial, manufacturing. They build
Love
that.
working with that industry.
Yeah, it's
all those
awesome.
industries. Yeah. They need us.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to they've spent 20 or 30 years building something phenomenal.
Yeah.
And, then helping them fine tune that so that it passes on in the way that it needs to, either downline to family or whether or not that's, to a third party buyer as well.
Right.
So,
William Bissett, please tell them how they can reach you, buddy.
So you can find us. Our website's fairly good. We spend a lot of time building us up as www.portusadvisors.com. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. We've got Instagram, Facebook. I don't think we have Twitter. And then we have a YouTube channel that, as I mentioned earlier, I think has 12 listeners. And I think if I get it correctly, you're indicating we get one boost in that listener base today.
Let's get you one.
We might have got 13.
Let's get you one.
Yeah.
Let's get you one today. Listen, William, let's back up a little bit, buddy. I ask everybody this. We've only got about a minute left or so. What brings you here? I mean, did you wake up one day and want to be a wealth advisor? How did this happen?
I graduated school with an economics degree in the middle of the 2001-2002 recession.
Wow.
Which meant my only real job offer I had was to sell insurance. I hated it, moved over to Morgan Stanley. I say the first week I was at Morgan Stanley, we had a wholesaler come in and teach us how to sell jumbo loan mortgages. And I was like, man, this is the same thing as that stinking annuity I was just trying to sell 2 weeks ago. And so I hated that as well. So I started looking for, something that I soon found out was financial planning, more all-encompassing, and found a job up in the DC market where I was able to go learn from some pretty smart people for a couple of years. And stumbled into it that way. So,
and you've been doing it ever since. Yeah.
Doing it ever since.
Yeah.
As the gray hair and the beard and the larger forehead would tell you, I'm catching up with Joe.
Yeah, you are.
Well, and I love
Careful,
that
it moves fast, buddy.
I love that you ventured out on your own because there's something valuable about being a business owner, helping business owners.
Oh yeah, no, I've made some of the mistakes that I've seen my business owner clients make.
Welcome
right?
to our one. Hey, thank you, my friend. Julie has put your website on WSIC's Facebook as well. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for letting me participate in such an awesome article.
Thank you.
You are listening to Local Biz Now. I'm here with Cherie DeMeo and William Bissett. We will see you next week.